Tonight's meeting of the Metropolitan Nashville and Davidson County Council is coming to you live from the council chambers at the historic Metro Courthouse. It's a public affairs presentation of the Metro Nashville Network. Good evening, everyone. I'm Pat Nolan, your announcer for this program. Tonight, the 15th Metropolitan Council holds its 58th business meeting of a four-year term. This is the fourth council meeting of 2022. Tonight's council agenda is just over 28 pages long. It involves 68 pieces of legislation. That includes a public comment period, 19 resolutions, 7 first reading bills, 11 second reading pieces of legislation, and 31 ordinances on third and final reading. On the agenda, there are also 8 appointments to city boards and commissions, including 3 to the Metro Community Oversight Board, 3 to the Convention Center Commission, and 2 to the Metro Historical Commission. Tonight's meeting is being held under the COVID-19 pandemic. State law has stripped the Metro Health Board from being able to continue a mask mandate in all city-owned buildings. Therefore, wearing masks here tonight is recommended but not required. Perhaps the most immediately impactful bill the Council will approve tonight on third reading is BL 2022-1078. The bill adopts a new floodplain for Davidson County, a new floodplain plan for map for Davidson County. It adds about 1,000 new properties, meaning those owners are advised to buy flood insurance. The purpose of the bill is to minimize damage to life and property due to flooding and to maintain eligibility for participation in the National Flood Insurance Program. There may be other concerns expressed by council members tonight about the large increase in the new properties to the map due to increased development and perhaps also to climate change. There's been no debate in the council about this bill the first 2 readings it's gone through. 2 late bills not officially on the agenda, one is a resolution, the other is an ordinance, are also of interest. Well, the resolution the council agrees to consider, if the council agrees to consider it, would approve a contract grant with an amount not to exceed $500,000 with Louisiana Homebuyer Education Collaborative, Inc. to provide a performance review of Metro's homeless programs and provide preliminary recommendations within the next 12 weeks. The late ordinances would also be on first reading. If the council agrees to hear it, it would implement a contract with the Metro Health Cooperative to provide provision, integration, and implementation of mental health training for the Metro Police Department personnel being done by the Mental Health Cooperative clinical personnel. The council has already approved $400,000 of American Rescue Funds just for this training this fiscal year and $100,000 each in the next 3 years. The council is another major step to provide officers with mental health support in the field when they encounter persons with mental health issues and hopefully avoid any more officer-related shootings. Back in the regular agenda, in terms of ongoing development, the council will again consider RS 2022-1326, asking the Metro Planning Commission to update the city's general plan by June 30th of next year because growth is exceeding what that current plan is already anticipating. Among other resolutions up tonight, RS 2022-1380 would indefinitely extend the home occupation law the council passed in July of 2020. The law somewhat liberalized which businesses could operate out of homes and under what rules. The matter is still in the courts. In fact, the state Supreme Court heard just such a case a few weeks ago. In terms of pandemic relief, RS 2022-1381 would expand the timeline and eligibility for residents to receive help in paying their rent, their mortgages, and utilities due to hardships created by COVID-19. The council approved $3 million in federal relief funds last September with the money available until the end of this year. Under the new resolution tonight, the funds would be available for another year through the end of June 2023. Those eligible would also now be residents who make up to 100% of the average median income here in Davidson County. The eligibility before had been no more than 80% of the average median income. Council will also consider approving RS 2022-1383, which is a grant application to the Tennessee Arts Commission for almost $200,000 to provide general operating support for artists, art program, research, and community development engagement here in Nashville through the Metro Arts Commission. Under RS 2022-1384, the council will accept a $5,000 grant from the National Predators Foundation to help support reduced pet adoption fees and also reduce overcrowding at the city's animal shelter. RS 2022-1385 would increase by $2 million an existing grant from the Tennessee Department of Health for local officials to provide comprehensive care coordination services to eligible families and children in Nashville. The program will be extended a year until the end of June 2023. Another program being increased and extended under RS 2022-1386 would provide now for up to nearly $690,000 from the state through June of next year to improve the health of those residing in or visiting Davidson County through targeted strategies to prevent and control the use of tobacco products. RS 2022-1389 would accept a $100,000 grant from the Nature Conservancy to fund restoration and cleanup efforts at the Lytle Bend Park. RS 2022-1387 would approve a state grant of just over $150,000. It would be used to reduce violent crime in Davidson County. For this grant, Metro must also provide a nearly $62,000 match. Also in the area of law enforcement, the council already had a resolution asking Metro Police to expand its use of mental health professionals in responding to calls involving an individual expressing mental health cuts. It may mean this resolution will now be withdrawn or not needed, but some council members may still want to send a message that they want to see this program expanded countywide absolutely as soon as possible. Among memorializing resolutions tonight, the council will honor the lives of longtime Judge Barbara Haynes and community and education supporter Queen Mother Mary Catherine Hayes Carr. The council will also be asked to urge the Tennessee legislature to approve legislation to establish a respite care program for caregivers of individuals with Alzheimer's and other related dementia. Finally, the council will voice its support for the establishment at Fisk University of a Business Incubation and Innovation Center. On first reading, the council will consider 3 meetings seeking to modify the pilot program it just adopted at last meeting to allow Metro Police to use license plate reader technology. One bill would exclude LPR information being used for immigration enforcement. The second bill would provide for the city's oversight board, community oversight board, to have equal parity to get to the LPR data. The third bill would offer a new definition of what is personally identifiable information in terms of LP information, all this to try to further protect privacy. Beginning of the 6-month program may also be delayed, by the way. It's been determined a 2017 law passed by the council requires a public hearing for the purchase or use of equipment like this. It's not exactly sure at this point when that new public hearing will be held. On second reading, BL 2022-1089 seeks to follow up and refine the recent regulation overhaul of the city's operation of the city's entertainment transportation vehicles, which the council approved in October of last year. More regulations are due to take effect in April, and this bill speaks to that. You can expect to see more amendments being offered already on that particular bill when it comes up tonight. Finally, on third reading bills, BL 2021-1014 would approve a new lease for the Cameron College Prep Charter School. In a recent meeting, the council approved one new lease for a charter school, but rejected another because it failed to receive the 21 votes it needed for final approval. The lease is expected to pass, even though some council members don't like charter schools, believing they take things away from public schools. Others believe they are public schools and need to be supported. Also on third reading, the council will consider BL 2021-1049. It would amend the threshold for audit requirements for nonprofit organizations receiving appropriations from Metropolitan government. The new thresholds would apply to nonprofit organizations with operating budgets of less than $250,000. They're receiving Metro grants of less than $25,000. If you want to follow tonight's council meeting as it progresses, you can find the agenda and the staff analysis online. Just go to the Metro Council portion of the Nashville.gov website and then go to the Legislative Information Center. We'll also be placing the bill numbers on the screen when they come up for consideration so you can follow along and keep up with where we are on the meeting agenda. Let's now go to Vice Mayor Jim Shulman. He'll be gaveling tonight's meeting to order shortly.
Good. Will the meeting please come to order? We welcome you to the Metro Council. Today is Tuesday, February 15th, 2022. All members of the council, as well as the public, please rise for our invocation and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Invocation tonight is brought to us by Reverend John West of the Evans Hill Missionary Baptist Church, a guest of Council Member Aaron Evans.
Let's bow our heads. Eternal and all-wise Father, we thank you once again for your amazing grace and kindness in the midst of our lives. We realize that we're not here by happenstance, but this day was divinely ordered since the beginning of time. Therefore, we dare not take another step without saying much obliged. As we gather here this evening, we ask the richness of your grace, wisdom, discernment in the midst of all of these leaders, in the midst of this blessed city and state. And we thank you for the privilege of being in these capacities. We pray that your wisdom and discernment will always prevail in the midst of their lives, and that we will all understand the importance of your sovereignty, and that we may all continue to give you all the glory and honor and praise. And it's in the blessed name of Christ Jesus that we ask it all. Amen, and thank God.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, y'all may be seated. The bangers, oh, they're already leaving. They were trying to get out of here very quickly. The bangers of the gavel tonight, I've got Savannah, who is wearing the blue shirt. She's in 4th grade. I've got Willa in 5th grade wearing the beige shirt, and Lillian in 8th grade wearing the green sweater. Please join me in thanking them for doing that. Okay, y'all can head back that way, unless you want to stay in the front and try to vote on some things. All right. Without objection, we will suspend the calling of the roll and ask the clerk to record the names of those members present throughout the meeting. Is there a motion for adoption of the minutes of the meeting from February 1st, 2022? Got a motion properly seconded. Without objection, the minutes of the meeting will stand approved as written. Mr. Clerk, any messages from the mayor?
No, sir, there are no messages from the mayor.
All right. I would recognize that the mayor is sitting in the back. The Honorable John Cooper. Mr. Mayor, thank you for being here with us tonight. All right, just a few notes before we get started. On February 24th, coming up, the Nashville Predators will be retiring Pekka Rinne's number 35 jersey. Pekka Rinne will become the first player in Predators history to have his jersey retired. Very, very good. Speaking of history, February is Black History Month. I would encourage everyone to take some time to learn more about Black history as it relates to Nashville and Davidson County. Simply by searching on the internet, you can find all kinds of historical data and events that are going on this month. Would encourage you to take the time to learn, take the time to understand. For example, did you know that John Henry Hale of Nashville conducted over 30,000 surgeries in Nashville? Many of those surgeries were performed at the Millie E. Hale Hospital, the first hospital to serve African Americans year-round. That hospital was opened in Nashville in July of 1916 by Dr. Hale and his wife, Millie E. Hale. It's named after her. And I didn't realize this, but James C. Napier, also a very important figure in Nashville history, served on the Nashville City Council between 1878 and 1886. And was the first black to preside over the city council. So there's lots of very, very good history to, and you're wearing the Napier mask. Lots of tremendous history to take a look at. We are now ready to proceed to elections and confirmations. I think Councilmember Johnston has tonight's report. What we're going to do, if you look, we've got a community oversight board, we've got elections. We also have 1, 2, 3. We've got 3 people for the Convention Center Authority and 2 for the Historical Commission. Just to be able to let them go early, we're going to start with the last 5 first, and then we'll go back to the to voting on the Community Oversight Board. So, Councilmember Johnston, you are recognized for a report on the 5 boards and commission nominees.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. We considered for the Convention Center Authority appointment of Ms. Tracy Harden for a term expiring January the 6th, 2026, Ms. Dee Patel for a term expiring January 6th, 2026, and Ms. Betsy Wills for a term expiring February 7th, 2026, and all 7 of us agreed that they did meet the qualifications. For the historical appointment of the Historical Commission appointment, of Ms. Laura Alderman Roast for for a term expiring January 29th, 2026, and Mr. Don Cusick for a term expiring February 3rd, 2026. Again, we unanimously agreed that they both met the qualifications.
Okay. And what was the vote? 7 to 0?
I'm sorry, 7, yes.
7 to 0. All right. Councilmember Johnston, a motion to approve all 5.
So moved.
All right. So I've got a motion to approve all 5, properly seconded. Any discussion on the 5? Seeing none, we're ready to vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Those 5 are appointed. If I could get you to stand up and remain standing as I go through this. All right, so I'm just going to recognize you as you stand up. Tracy Harden for the Convention Center Authority, Dee Patel also for the Authority, and Betsy Wills for the Convention Center Authority, and Laura Alderman Rost for the Historical Commission, and Don Cusick for the Historical Commission. Thank you all for agreeing to serve, volunteering your time. We very much appreciate it on behalf of Nashville. And you all are welcome to stay. We don't have that long of an agenda tonight, but we'll see. So we are now ready to talk about the election to fill 3 vacancies for the Community Oversight Board. I believe all of these nominees would have come before the Rules Committee. Councilmember Johnston, you're recognized for a report on the nominees for the Community Oversight Board.
Thank you. We considered Mr. Jamel Campbell-Gooch, Mr. Walter Holloway, Mr. Michael Milliner, and Ms. Maxine Spencer. There was a discrepancy in the number of votes because one committee member left after the first interview. So we agreed unanimously that they all met the qualifications. The first vote for Mr. Jamel Campbell-Gooch came in at 8, and then the committee had 7 for all 3 remaining.
Okay, so all met the qualifications to serve on the committee.
All met the qualifications, and I would move their approval.
Okay, so here's how this is going to work. We have 3 seats to fill tonight. 2 seats are to be filled by, again, by community organizations or petitions, so they get treated separately. We have 3 nominees for those 2 seats, and we need to fill 1 seat to be filled by a council member nomination. We're going to do the council member nomination first because there was only one. There was one nomination, Mr. Walter Holloway, by council member Sharon Hurt. Because there was only one nomination, I'm going to recognize council member Hurt for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for approval.
Okay, so Councilmember Hurd moves for approval. Mr. Holloway is the only nominee before us nominated by a council member, properly seconded. Any discussion on the approval of Mr. Walter Holloway for a seat on the Community Oversight Board? Seeing none, we're ready to vote. All those in favor of Mr. Walter Holloway for a seat on the Community Oversight Board, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Mr. Holloway, congratulations. Where is Mr. Holloway? I saw him before. There he is. Couldn't see him. Mr. Holloway, congratulations. Okay, so there are 3 remaining nominees for the remaining 2 seats. I've got Mr. Jamel Campbell-Gooch, who was nominated by the Black Nashville Assembly. I've got Mr. Michael Milliner, nominated by the NAACP Nashville branch, and Ms. Maxine Spencer, who was nominated by Workers' Dignity. So pursuant to the charter, when we are dealing with individuals who are either nominated by a community organization or by private petition, we vote on it. It has to be approved by a majority vote of the Metro Council. So because there are 3 nominees, we are getting ready to pass out written ballots with the 3 nominees on the ballot. Once received, you can. Oh, okay. All right. I never know exactly what I'm doing up here, so just letting you know. All right. So I thought all 3 names were on, and you'd circle 2. Apparently, you've just got 2 places to write in the 2 names. Okay. So you won't have 3 names and then circle 2. You will write in either 1 or 2 of the nominees. Okay. So we will pass those out. You will need to write your name on the ballot so we know who you voted, that you voted, and who, up to 2 nominees that you're voting for. Councilmember Hancock?
Thank you. My only concern is if everyone isn't pulling up the list on their computer screen, they don't see the list of everyone on the board, because one of them we already voted on, council member, and there's a 3rd one that's missing. So would it be possible for you to read the 3 names?
Oh, sure.
In case everyone doesn't pull that up on their screen.
I'm happy to do that.
Thank you.
We're asking the clerk, but I don't think we can push it up any further. Can we just take it off? All right. So we were going to try to remove it from the screen. We can't even do that. All right. But I'm going to read the 3 names. Yeah. Oh, okay, good. Okay. Makes me feel more comfortable. All right, so the 3 people that you're voting for up to 2. Michael Milner, nominated by the NAACP Nashville branch. Jamel Campbell-Gooch, nominated by Black Nashville Assembly. And Ms. Maxine Spencer, nominated by Workers' Dignity. Milner, Campbell-Gooch, Spencer. Okay, those are the 3 you're going to write in 2. Make sure you write your name on the ballot. When you've got the ballot, just go ahead and hold it up. Again, it has to be confirmed by a majority of the members of the Metro Council. Majority of the Metro Council members voting. And there are 33 members here present, so it has to be approved by a majority of the members voting. Again, when you have completed the ballot, raise your hand up so we can make sure we have all the ballots in. And then once we get them all in, the clerk will read the name of the council member and the individuals nominated. All ballots in? So we have counted the council members. There are 32 members present. So a majority of the members present voting, assuming that everybody voted, it would require 17 votes. That's the majority. Okay. We checked it on our calculator. Mr. Clerk, you ready? All right, so the way this works is that the clerk is going to read the council member's name and then the individuals that were nominated. And just confirm by saying yes, so we make sure we've got it. We'll go all the way through, and then we'll tabulate the votes. Mr. Clerk?
Councilmember Hurt voted for Jamel Campbell Gooch and Michael Milliner.
Correct? Councilmember Hurt? Good, okay.
Councilmember Allen voted for Michael Milliner and Maxine Spencer.
Councilmember Allen? Good, okay.
Councilmember Sawara voted for Jamel Campbell Gooch.
Councilmember Shore? Okay.
Councilmember Toombs voted for Maxine Spencer and Michael Milliner.
Councilmember? Good? Okay. Just, if you don't mind, just nod your head so we make sure we've got it.
Councilmember Gamble voted for Michael Milliner and Maxine Spencer.
Okay.
Councilmember Parker voted for Jamel Campbell Gooch. Councilmember Withers voted for Maxine Spencer and Michael Milliner. Councilmember Benedict voted for Jamel Campbell Gooch and Maxine Spencer. Councilmember Van Rees voted for Maxine Spencer and Jamel Campbell Gooch. Councilmember Hancock voted for Michael Milliner and Maxine Spencer. Councilmember Young voted for Michael Milliner and Maxine Spencer. Councilmember Hager voted for Michael Milliner and Jamel Campbell Gooch. Councilmember Evans voted for Jamel Campbell Gooch and Maxine Spencer. Councilmember Roden voted for Michael Milliner and Maxine Spencer. Councilmember Syracuse voted for Michael Milliner and Maxine Spencer. Councilmember Welsh voted for Jamel Campbell Gooch. Councilmember Cash voted for Jamel Campbell Gooch and Michael Milliner. Councilmember O'Connell voted for Michael Milliner and Jamel Campbell Gooch. Councilmember Roberts voted for Jamel Campbell Gooch and Maxine Spencer. Councilmember Taylor voted for Michael Milliner and Maxine Spencer. Councilmember Hauser voted for Michael Milliner and Maxine Spencer. Councilmember Druffel voted for Walter Holloway and Michael Milliner.
Okay. So hold on just a second. So Mr. Holloway was confirmed before. So so we've got just Mr. Milner? Okay. All right.
Councilmember Pooley voted for Michael Milliner and Maxine Spencer. Councilmember Johnston voted for Michael Milliner and Maxine Spencer. Councilmember Nash voted for Michael Milliner and Maxine Spencer. Councilmember Verger voted for Michael Milliner and Maxine Spencer. Councilmember Sepulveda voted for Jamel Campbell Gooch. Councilmember Rutherford voted for Michael Milliner and Maxine Spencer. Councilmember Stiles voted for Michael Milliner and Maxine Spencer. Councilmember Lee voted for Michael Milliner and Jamel Campbell Gooch. Councilmember Henderson voted for Michael Milliner and Maxine Spencer. And Councilmember Rosenberg voted for Jamel Campbell Gooch.
Everything good with the votes? Okay. Okay, so we've tabulated the votes. Mr. Campbell Gooch got 14 votes, Mr. Milner got 23 votes, and Ms. Spencer got 21 votes. So the two that are elected got a majority of the votes is Mr. Milner and Ms. Spencer. So congratulations to both of you. And again, we appreciate all three of you running. This is a very important responsibility, and so we're very appreciative. All right, so we now move on to resolutions on the consent resolutions and resolutions. Get the there. I've got it. Yeah, I've got it. Just underneath everything else. All right, so I'm going to go through the resolutions that are on the consent agenda. If you need to bump something off, let me know. Okay. Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry, jumping ahead. So we do have a public comment period, and we do have one person who is connected to the kids that did want to speak. All right, so my fault. All right, so we have one person who did sign up to speak tonight for the public comment period. It's Paige Clancy. She is at the microphone. Ms. Clancy, welcome. You're from District 24, and you want to talk about libraries.
Yes.
So you've got 2 minutes in which to speak. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Good evening. My name is Paige Clancy. I'm here this evening first and foremost to thank you for funding this. For the funding the city invests in Nashville Public Library, helping to make it one of the most valuable institutions in Davidson County. I have been a patron and dedicated friend of Richland Park Library for 6 years, donating both time and money, because my family and I value what we personally get from the library, and also because I know the difference the library makes in my neighborhood. It wasn't until I became involved as a Nashville Public Library Foundation volunteer that I started to realize how integral our 21-branch library system is in every facet of our community. From the library's expansive collection of more than 5 million items for every age and demographic, to our extensive community partnership and our award-winning programming and services available on a massive scale free of charge, there is no single institution that addresses as many different needs as Nashville Public Library. As you know, with the growth of our city comes an increase in community needs, particularly in light of the challenges presented by the pandemic. I'm so grateful to this council for increasing the city's investment in the library this past fiscal year, resulting in additional staff and digital materials and resources that enabled the library to pivot services and remain a vital resource. I'm especially excited about the additional funding that is allowing all branches to offer weekend hours, making the library more accessible to everyone. My family and I are especially thrilled about Richland Park being open on Saturdays. On your desk, you will find the 2021 Nashville Public Library and Foundation Annual Report. Hopefully you can find those on your desks. They provide stats about the impact of the library over the past year. Even with the branches being closed to the public for a portion of the year, you can see that more than 4 million items were borrowed, plus there were an additional 2.28 million digital downloads. More than 200,000 people participated, and we want to thank you for your use of public tax dollars to the library, making Nashville a more literate and equitable city for all. Please do make sure you see the custom handout that identifies some of the benefits to the branch in your district. Thank you. Sorry for going over.
That's okay, no problem. Thank you, Ms. Clancy. All right, and I'm sorry I almost forgot you. You came a long way to talk about that. We're now ready for the consent resolutions and resolutions. I'm going to go through the items that are on the consent calendar. Listen closely, and then we'll figure out if anything needs to be bumped. The first item on consent is item number 2, RS 2022-1378. Next item is 1379. 1380 is on consent. 1381 is on consent. 1382 is on consent. 1383 is on consent. 1384 is on consent. 1385 is on consent. 1387 is on consent. 1388 on consent. 1389 on consent. 1390 on consent. 1391 on consent. 1392 on consent. 1393 on consent. 1394 on consent. And 1395 is on consent. So it looks like only 2 items were not actually on consent. Anything needs to be bumped off consent? Councilmember Toombs, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. 1393, number 17.
Okay. All right. So item number 17, 1393 is bumped off of consent. Okay. Anything else? Oh, Councilmember Henderson?
1378, please, Vice Mayor.
1378 is bumped off consent. That's item number 2. Okay. Anything else needs to be bumped off of consent? Okay. Okay, I'm going to read through the items on consent. First item up is item number 3, RS 2022-1379 by Councilmember Allen, a resolution authorizing the Metropolitan Department of Law to compromise and settle Robert Green's claim against the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County and employee Judge Linda Jones, the amount of $25,000, $15,000 reflecting back pay paid out of the General Sessions Court operating budget. Remaining $10,000 be paid out of the Judgments and Losses Fund. RS 2022-1380 by Councilmember Rosenberg. Resolution to extend the provisions of Section 17.16.250.d of the Metropolitan Codes of Law relative to home occupation. Item number 5, RS 2022-1381 by Parker Allen and others. Resolution modifying RS 2021-1116, which appropriated $3 million in American Rescue Plan Act funds from Fund 30216 to provide rent and mortgage payments and utilities payments to extend the coverage date through June 30th, 2023, and to expand mortgage relief to all participants who have household income up to and including 100% of AMI. Item number 6, RS 2022-1382 by Alan Evans, Sora, and others. Resolution accepting a grant from the State of Tennessee Department of Finance Administration to the Metropolitan Government, acting by and through the Office of Family Safety to host a Tennessee Family Justice Center statewide symposium to enhance the statewide network of family justice centers, increase the capacity and skill of statewide teams. RS 2022-1383 by Alan Bradford and others. Resolution approving an application for the Tennessee Nonprofit Arts and Culture Recovery Fund grant from the Tennessee Arts Commission to the Metropolitan Government through the Metropolitan Nashville Arts Commission to provide general operating support of artists, art programs, research, and community engagement. RS 2022-1384. Item number 8, Alan Evans and others, a resolution approving a grant from the Nashville Predators Foundation to the Metropolitan Government acting by and through the Metro Board of Health's Animal Care and Control to help support reduced pet adoption fees to reduce overcrowding. Item number 9, RS 2022-1385 by Councilmembers Allen, Evans, and others. Resolution approving Amendment 1 to a grant from the Tennessee Department of Health to the Metropolitan Government through the Board of Health to provide the Community Health Access and Navigation in Tennessee program to deliver comprehensive care coordination services to eligible families and children. Item number 11, RS 2022-1387 by Councilmembers Allen, Withers, and others. Resolution approving an intergovernmental agreement by and between the State of Tennessee Department of Transportation and the Metropolitan Government acting through the Nashville Department of Transportation and Multimodal Infrastructure and CSX Transportation, Inc. for resurfacing from west of Harpeth Valley Road to east of Hillwood Boulevard. RS 2022-1388, that's item number 12. Johnston, Allen, and others, resolution approving Amendment 2 to an agreement by and between the State of Tennessee Department of Transportation and the Metropolitan Government through the Department of Transportation Multimodal Infrastructure for the acceptance of work in connection with the construction of a sidewalk on Harding Place. RS 2022-1389, item number 13, Roden, Allen, and others. Resolution accepting an in-kind grant from the Nature Conservancy to the Metropolitan Government through the Board of Parks and Recreation to fund restoration and cleanup efforts at Lytle Bend Park. RS 2022-1390 by Councilmember Allen, Evans, and Stiles. Resolution approving an application for a Project Safe Neighborhoods grant from the Department of Finance and Administration with the state to the Metropolitan Government through the Metro Nashville Police Department to reduce gun-related violence in Nashville by funding additional training, staff overtime, and the purchase of additional forensic equipment. Item number 15, RS 2022-1391 by Sawara and Hurt, a resolution urging the Metropolitan Nashville Police Department to expand its use of mental health professionals in responding to calls involving an individual experiencing a mental health crisis. RS 2022-1392 by Young, Murphy, Sawara, Withers, and others, resolution honoring the life of former Davidson County General Sessions and Circuit Court Judge Barbara Jean Norman Haynes. Item number 18, RS 2022-1394 by Bradford, Withers, Evans, Johnston, and others, a resolution urging the Tennessee General Assembly to support the Colonel Thomas G. Bowden Act, SB 1749, House Bill 1686, to establish respite care programs for caregivers of individuals with Alzheimer's and related dementia in Tennessee. Item number 19, RS 2022-1395 by Hurt and O'Connell, resolution in support of the establishment of a Fisk University Business Incubation and Innovation Center and in support of establishing a steering committee to guide its development and solicit community input. Those are the bills on the consent agenda. Anything needs to be pulled off? All right. Okay, I'm going to get committee reports. Start with Councilmember Parker, Affordable Housing.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Affordable Housing considered RS 2022-1381. Recommended approval 7-4 and 0 against.
All right, thank you. Budget and Finance, Councilmember Allen.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Budget and Finance approved just about everything. RS 2022-1379, RS 2022-1381, RS 2022-1382, RS 2022-1383, 1384, 1385, and 1387, 1388, 1389, and 1390. 9 in favor, 0 against.
All right, thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember Hancock, Government Operations.
You will not believe it, but again, the Government Operations Committee voted unanimously in favor of RS 2022-1380, 6 in favor, 0 against.
Thank you, Councilmember Hancock. Thought I told the staff not to give you any more bills, or at least bills that you all have to vote unanimously for. Councilmember Withers, Planning and Zoning.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. The Planning and Zoning Committee met and considered RS 2022-1387 and 1388 and voted in favor of both items, 8 in favor, 0 against, 0 abstentions.
All right, so members of the council, we're also bumping RS 2022-1395. That's item number, that's the last one on the agenda. Item number 19, RS 2022-1395 is bumped off of the consent calendar. Okay, so we'll go back. So I think, who has got public facilities? Who's doing that one? Councilmember Van Rees?
I am proud to be the vice chair, and I am bringing to you Resolution 1383 and 1389 with 6 in favor and 0 against on both resolutions. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember Evans, Public Safety.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Public Health and Safety considered RS 2022-1382, 1384, 1385, 1390, and 1391, and we approved each of those pieces of legislation, 7 in favor, 0 against.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Evans. Councilmember Johnston, Rules Committee.
Thank you. We considered RS 2022-1392 and 1394, and we voted, we voted 6 in favor, 0 against.
Okay. Okay, got it. And then last but not least, Councilmember Young, Transportation.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Remind me, was 1378 pulled?
1378 was pulled.
Okay. Well, then I'll tell you that 1387 and 1388 were both recommended for approval, 10 in favor, 0 against, and I will move the consent agenda.
All right, so Councilmember Young has moved the consent agenda properly seconded. Any discussion on the consent agenda? Seeing none, we're ready to vote. All those in favor of the consent agenda say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. You adopt. All right, so let's go back and pick up the resolutions that were not on consent. It goes all the way back to item number 1, which is on page 2. This is RS 2022-1326 by Gamble, Withers, Hall, and Toombs. It's a resolution requesting the Metropolitan Planning Commission and Metropolitan Planning Department review and amend as needed the current general plan for Nashville and Davidson County, Nashville Next, a general plan for Nashville and Davidson County no later than June 30th, 2023. Councilmember Gamble, you are recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Committee reports.
All right, Planning and Zoning, Councilmember Withers. We're on the first item, 1326.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. The Planning and Zoning Committee voted 8 in favor, 0 against, 0 abstentions for an indefinite deferral at the request of the sponsor.
All right. Councilmember Gamble, you're recognized on your resolution.
I'd like to move for an indefinite deferral with a brief explanation.
All right, so I've got a motion to defer indefinitely, properly seconded. Back to Councilmember Gamble.
Yes, this resolution was deferred indefinitely by rule. This is the third deferral, and it was requested in order to allow time to clean up the language in the bill after the report from the Planning Commission, or planning staff rather, yesterday of outlining the requests that have come in for review. It was stated that we would clean up the language so that it's clear to explain that it's not a review of the entire Nashville Next community plans and sub-area plans, but just specific to those areas that have been requested according to reports. So that it will be cleaned up and reintroduced at a later time. Thank you.
All right, so the motion is to defer indefinitely. It was properly seconded. Any other discussion on the motion? Seeing none, we're on the motion to defer indefinitely. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion is approved. The next item is RS 2022-1378 by Councilmember Young. Resolution to approve an assignment, assumption, and amending agreement by and among Flow Inc., doing business as Coordinate Sidewalk Labs, LLC, and the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County. Councilmember Young, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. The committee report was recommended for approval, 11 in favor, 0 against, and with that, I will move approval.
Okay, so got a motion to approve, properly seconded. Discussion, Councilmember Henderson.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. When this was in Transportation and Infrastructure Committee, Ms. Costonis from Legal was here to kind of just speak on the reassignment of the contract, but there was not anyone to speak to kind of the status of the pilot project and where it is. So I just thought that this afforded us a touch point for this effort. And I was going to ask the administration if they could please, before we move this forward, give us a status update of the pilot project and what they anticipate being accomplished in the time that is extending the pilot as well.
Mr. Jamison.
Thank you, Vice Mayor, and thank you, Councilmember Henderson. The council will remember that they approved the Smart Loading Zone pilot back in July of 2020 to run a year. That was extended 6 months till December of this past year. And the end of last year, Cord was bought by Sidewalk Labs. And so the primary intent of this resolution is just to reassign the contract to the new corporate ownership, Sidewalk Labs. There was some personnel shifting slightly in the corporate purchase, so the extension, the resolution also extends the agreement till the end of next month. Also cleans up an assignment provision that prohibits any further assignments without council approval. I believe, and I have not checked with Ms. Alarcon at NDOT, I believe the intention is at the end of the pilot program, there will be some presumably valuable data for the NDOT and this council to consider in further extending the curb management or the SMART program, but let me confirm with her and report to the council in the morning.
Councilmember Henderson.
Vice Mayor, if I may, then just for the public's edification, though, this is related to parking, but also curb management. I mean, can you remind us, Mr. Jameson, what the deliverables were for the pilot? I mean, I know there will be a vast data set, but specifically this was undertaken just sort of the through line on this, right? Like, what is the goal of this pilot, please?
Sure. The primary objective was the loading zone issues that we have downtown. We have a thriving commercial district, a thriving downtown, and with that come some headaches with loading requirements among the various businesses and buildings. So among what CORD was originally doing for us was a computer-based system whereby your delivery truck can pull up at the building with a coordinated time so that you're not bumping the next delivery. That's about as sophisticated as my explanation can be, but that was the primary deliverable from this pilot program.
Councilmember Henderson? Good. All right. Anybody else in the queue? Anybody else want to be heard on this one? All right, so we've got we're on Resolution RS 2022-1378. Councilmember Young has moved approval. It was properly seconded. Ready to vote. All those in favor of the resolution say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. All right, we're now on item number 10. It's RS 2022-1386 by Councilmember Allen, Evans, Hurt, and Welsh. Resolution approving Amendment 6 to a grant from the Tennessee Department of Health to the Metropolitan Government, acting through the Metropolitan Board of Health to improve the health of those residing in or visiting Davidson County through targeted strategies to prevent and control the use of tobacco products. Councilmember Allen, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Committee reports, please.
All right, I've got Public Health and Safety. That is Councilmember Evans. We're on 1386.
Thank you. So we considered 1386. We had 6 in favor, 1 abstention.
Okay. And back to you, Councilmember Allen, for Budget and Finance.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Budget and Finance recommended approval, 9 in favor, 0 against, and I recommend approval.
Okay, so Councilmember Allen has moved approval, properly seconded. Discussion on the resolution. All right, seeing none, we're ready to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no? No. Okay. Okay, so I think there's just 1 no. Was there any abstentions? So 1 no. All right, Councilmember Swope is listed as voting no. Everybody else votes yes. So the resolution passes. Okay. We're on item number 17, RS 2022-1393 by Council Members Porterfield, Toombs, Hurt, Stiles, and a host of other council members, a resolution honoring the life of Queen Mother Catherine Hayes Carr. Councilmember Toombs, you handling this? Councilmember Toombs.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. I move for approval with a brief comment.
Okay, so Councilmember Toombs has moved for approval of RS 2022-1393, properly seconded. Back to you for discussion.
Thank you. Councilwoman Porterfield regrets not being able to be here today, but she wanted to pay homage to Queen Mother Carr as being a pillar in the community. Anyone who had the privilege of interacting with her immediately knew that they were in the presence of royalty. She will forever be remembered, and her legacy lives on. And with that, I renew my motion.
All right, so Councilmember Toombs has renewed her motion on RS 2022-1393. Again, a resolution honoring the life of Queen Mother Catherine Hayes Carr. Any other discussion? Any discussion? Councilmember Gamble?
I would like to have my name added to the resolution, please.
Okay. So Councilmember Gamble will be added. Councilmember Hurt added as well. Councilmember Sepulveda. Everybody want to be added on? Councilmember Toombs? Okay. Everybody voting in the affirmative will be listed as a sponsor. Okay, we're ready to vote. We're on RS 2022-1393. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Everybody's added as a sponsor. Resolution passes. And we're on RS 2022-1395 by Councilmembers Hurt and O'Connell. Resolution in support of the establishment of a Fisk University Business Incubation Innovation Center. Support of establishing a steering committee to guide its development and solicit community input. Councilmember Hurt, you're recognized on your resolution.
Thank you, Mr. President. Committee reports, please.
Rules and confirmations. Councilmember Johnston.
Thank you. We voted 6 in favor, 0 against.
All right. Thank you. Back to you, Councilmember Hurt.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to stand and state that this is huge. And I certainly appreciate the council willing to put it on consent, but I felt that it was absolutely necessary for me to stand and speak because the community has indicated that they would like to have support for small businesses, and we know that Fisk is a jewel. So this, as Mr. Freeman has said, is a win-win-win for us all. And I'm so grateful that the Metro government is making a tangible step to move forward in supporting this university and supporting this community by having a small business incubation and innovation center on the campus of the historic Fisk University. And I think it speaks volumes because on yesterday, Fisk was warned with a bomb threat. But in spite of all of those things, this government continues to stand behind and support it and make sure that we put things in place in order for it to continue to thrive. So I just thank you all very much for that, and also want to invite you for a tour tomorrow at Boris Hall so you can see the building that's going to be renovated. It's at the corner of 16th Avenue and Meharry Boulevard. For those of you who are familiar, it used to be where OIC was located, but right not far across from the board house and down from alumni. So I know Councilmember Gamble is very well aware of it, and I thank you all again for your support and your vote.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Hurt. Any other discussion? Councilmember Suara.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I just wanted to ask to be added to the resolution.
All right, Councilmember Gamble.
I would also like to thank Councilmember Hurt for bringing forth this resolution and recognizing the importance of Fisk University to the Nashville community. And I would also like to sign on to this resolution. Thank you.
All right. Anybody else? People are raising their hands. Do you want everybody listed? Everybody good? All right, everybody voting in the affirmative on this one will be added as a sponsor as well. We're on RS 2022-1395. Ready to vote? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Resolution is adopted. Let me go back to one thing. RS 2022-1393, it was on consent. It was bumped off. Well, I just want to make sure we get the right Rules Committee report. Councilmember Johnston, there was no no's. I just need to know how many yeses there were. Can you give that to me? It's RS 2022-1393. It was item number 17.
I'm sorry. 6 in favor, 0 against.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Just make sure for the record. All right. We have one late file resolution. It's by Councilmember O'Connell. It is in your amendment packet. It's a resolution approving a grant contract between the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County and Louisiana Homebuyer Education Collaborative. It's doing business as Housing NOLA. It's a 501c3 organization to provide homeless performance review and recommendation support. Councilmember O'Connell, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to get committee reports, please.
All right. So it's because it's late filed, it would have had to go to Rules to just get a report. So let's start there. Councilmember Johnston, Rules Committee on this late file resolution.
We had no objection to the suspension of the rules.
Okay. Did you all take a vote on the resolution as well, or just on? Okay. Okay. So let's get the thing suspended first, and then I can get some committee reports. Okay.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to suspend the rules, please.
Okay. So Councilmember O'Connell moves to suspend the rules to get this late file resolution before us. Again, it's a contract. It's a grant contract between Nashville and Louisiana Homebuyer Education to provide homeless performance review and recommendation support. Is there any objection to suspending the rules to get this before us tonight? Seeing none, rules are suspended. Councilmember O'Connell, you're on your resolution, and I've got, I think, two committee reports for you.
All right, now let's get committee reports.
Okay, Councilmember Allen, Budget and Finance.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Budget and Finance recommended approval, 8 in favor, 0 against.
All right, and Councilmember Parker, I think you went to Affordable Housing as well.
Yes, Vice Mayor. Affordable housing, consider the late resolution. We voted 7-4 and none against.
All right, thank you. Councilmember O'Connell, you're on your resolution.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just briefly, the lateness here has to do with basically the urgency. Colleagues will remember just a little bit ago when we allocated some funds, there was a $500,000 allocation specifically to study the performance of our kind of governance of homelessness. Obviously, this is relevant to both committee work that happened yesterday, but also to a bill that I've proposed that is deferred out until April, BL 2021-971. I think the mayor's office is taking very seriously the idea of looking at governance performance. We're hopeful that this vendor will be able to come to the table, do some analysis, and come forward with pretty objective recommendations on some best practices we can consider. This process has worked pretty effectively in the past in delivering what is now a much more performant continuum of care and homelessness planning council. Now we want to get the organization of the government piece of this right, not just the kind of planning council and alignment with HUD. So encourage colleagues to support, appreciate the administration for pursuing this, and looking forward to the analysis.
All right, so we are on this late file resolution. Councilmember O'Connell is moving passage of the resolution, properly seconded. Any discussion on the resolution? Councilmember Hurt, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. You know, I look at this as Louisiana Homebuyer Education Collaborative, Inc., doing business as Housing NOLA, which that says to me that this is a for-profit operating as a nonprofit. And they are going to receive $500,000 from Nashville to give us best practices of how we address homelessness in Nashville. We have had several people in Nashville, people who are part of the homeless community, to share with us best practices, some of the specific things that they need, some of the things that they want. What really concerns me is that we've been doing this. I know that I was in Leadership Nashville in 2004, and homelessness was the topic of our project. And we are in 2022. 18 years later, we are still trying to address this problem. And I don't think that we need to go out of the city and out of the state in order for us to give someone else $500,000. We can invest that money right here in Nashville and come away with a project that I think that will be best practices for those citizens that are here. We've heard the voices of our community and our homeless community, and I think that we need to show them how much we care by investing in them and the things that they say that they want and need. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Hurt. Other discussion on the resolution? All right, we are ready to vote. We'll try this by voice vote. All those in favor of this late file resolution by Councilmember O'Connell say aye. Aye. Opposed, no?
No.
All right, so I think I've just got 2 noes, Councilmember Hurt and three. We've got more noes. All right, so let's go on the board. I think that's proper. That's pursuant to the rules. So, Mr. Clerk, can you get the board ready? We will be voting on this late file resolution. It's up on the screen. If you're in favor of the resolution, you would vote aye. If you're opposed, obviously you would vote no. Mr. Clerk, tell me when you're ready. Okay, open up the machines. Councilmember Lee? Okay. Oh, so she was having trouble. Councilmember Lee, have you got the button pushed? Apparently you have broken your machine, Councilmember Lee. Okay, so we're going to get our computer folks to take a look at your machine. It's not showing up on our board up here. Yeah. Oh, okay. All right, it just took a little while to get from your desk up here, so we've got it now. Mr. Clerk, everybody in? All right, it's Councilmember Lee's computer, but we think we've got it. All right, so the motion passes ayes 26, no 5s, 1 abstention. Resolution passes. Okay, we are now on bills on first reading. Any bills need to be considered separately? Otherwise, we'll take them in mass. All right. All right, motion to adopt all bills on introduction, first reading. Got a motion properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. All bills are taken on first reading or passed. We do have one late filed ordinance. It's also in your packet. Let me get a hold of it. It is in your packet. It's by Councilmember Evans. It's an ordinance approving a contract between the Metropolitan government acting through the Police Department and the Mental Health Cooperative to ensure the provision, integration, and implementation of mental health training for Metro Police Department personnel by mental health cooperative clinical personnel. Councilmember Evans, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'd like to move to suspend the rules, please.
All right, so did this one go through rules, Councilmember Johnston?
It did, and we had no objection.
Okay, thank you. All right, Councilmember Evans has moved to suspend the rules. This is to get this before us on first reading tonight.
Yes, sir.
All right, any objection to suspension of the rules? Seeing no objection, rules are suspended. You're on your bill.
Thank you. So this is a late filed bill because we had appropriated money from ARP funding to add clinician training to MNPD as part of their training process. And the contract between MNPD and the Mental Health Cooperative was just approved on February the 9th, since this was a new arrangement for them. And so I would appreciate your support. Thank you.
Okay. So Councilmember Evans has moved.
Wait, I'm sorry. Never mind.
Okay. Councilmember Evans is moving approval of the bill on first reading. Properly seconded. Any discussion on the bill? This is just for approval on first reading. Seeing none, all those in favor of the bill on first reading say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The bill is adopted, or bill is passed on first reading. Thank you, Councilmember Evans. All right, so we are now on bills on second reading. I'm going to go through the items listed on the consent calendar. I hear somebody making noise in the back. I think it's Councilmember Vercher, but I'm not quite sure. All right, so these are the bills on second reading consent. BL 2021-884 is on consent. Item number 30, 1091 is on consent. 1092 is on consent. 1093 is on consent. 1094 is on consent. 1095 is on consent. 1096 is on consent. 1097 is on consent. 1112 is on consent. I think that's it. Yep. Anything needs to be bumped off the second reading consent calendar? Okay. All right, I'm going to read you the captions of the bills on second reading consent. The first one is Bill 2021-884. Again, this is all on bills on second reading by Council Members Murphy and Nash, an ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to abandon existing sanitary sewer main, sanitary sewer manhole and easements, and to accept new sanitary sewer mains, manholes, and easements for property located on 4005 Utah Avenue. The next item is item number 30, Bill 2022-1091 by Council Members O'Connell, Withers, and Young. Ordinance authorizing Nashville Urban Venture LLC to install, construct, and maintain underground encroachments in the right-of-way located at 609 Overton Street. Bill 2022-1092 by Van Reese, Withers, and others. An ordinance providing the honorary street name designation of David McMurray Way for a portion of Woodruff Street. BL 2022-1093 by O'Connell, Allen, and others. Ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County through the Department of Water and Sewerage Services to enter into an agreement with PR Germantown LLC, hereafter known as the developer, to provide improved public sanitary sewer service to the construction of improved stormwater system. BL 2022-1094, O'Connell, Withers, and Young. Ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to accept new sanitary sewer main, sanitary sewer manholes for property located at 806 16th Avenue North, also known as the Lofts at Marathon. BL 2022-1095 by Hager, Withers, and Young. Ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to accept new water and sanitary sewer mains, fire hydrant assembly, sanitary sewer manholes, and easements for two properties located at 725 Tulip Grove Road and 4811 Lisa Ann Lane, also known as Tulip Springs Townhomes. Item number 35, BL 2022-1096, O'Connell, Withers, and Young. Ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government to abandon and remove existing water mains and to accept new water mains and fire hydrant assemblies for property located at 804 14th Avenue North. BL 2022-1097 by Council Members Young and Withers, an ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government to abandon existing public sanitary sewer mains and sanitary sewer manholes and to accept new sanitary sewer mains and sanitary sewer manholes for three properties located at 1170, 1176, and 1180 Dickerson Pike, also known as Dickerson Pike Townhomes, and BL 2022-1112 by Councilmember O'Connell, ordinance authorizing the acquisition of an interest in a parcel of real property and approving the granting of an easement above and below the same parcel in connection with the development of a project located at 215 and 217 3rd Avenue North. Those are the bills on second reading consent. Anything needs to be bumped off? Seeing none, we're ready to get some committee reports. Budget and Finance. Councilmember Allen, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Budget and Finance recommended approval for BL 2022-1093 and 1112. 8 in favor, 0 against.
All right. Thank you. Planning and Zoning. Councilmember Withers.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. The Planning and Zoning Committee considered BL 2021-884, BL 2022-1091, 1092, 1093, 1094, 1095, 1096, 1097, and 1112. And we recommended approval of each of those, 8 in favor, 0 against, 0 abstentions.
All right. Thank you. And the last report is coming from our own Councilmember Young, Transportation.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. BL 2022-1091, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, and 1112. All recommended for approval, 10 in favor, 0 against. And am I last?
You are last.
Well, I will move approval of the second reading consent agenda.
All right. All those, okay, so I've got a motion to approve all bills on second reading consent. Properly seconded. Any discussion on the second reading consent calendar? Seeing none, we're ready to vote. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. Thank you, Councilmember Young, for singing part of that. Threw me off. All right, so we are now back on bills on second reading that were not on the consent calendar. First one is item number 28, Bill 2021-897 by Councilmember Sepulveda, an ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code by applying a contextual overlay district to various properties located east of Nolensville Pike, zone R10, R15, R20, and RS10. It's 101.34 acres. Councilmember Sepulveda, you're recognized.
Thank you. Move to defer indefinitely.
All right, so Councilmember Sepulveda has moved to defer indefinitely, properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, the motion is to defer indefinitely. All those in favor of the motion say aye. Opposed, no. Motion to defer indefinitely passes. We're on BL 2022-1089 by Councilmember Allen. Ordinance amending Chapter 6.77 and Chapter 7.24 of the Metropolitan Code pertaining to the operation and regulation of entertainment transportation vehicles. Councilmember Allen, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. I would like to move approval with a brief explanation.
All right, let's get committee reports. Transportation, Councilmember Young.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. We recommended approval with a re-referral. Well, long story.
We'll get to that.
That's okay. We're making pretty good time. Go ahead.
Yes, well, there is an amendment, and we recommended approval of the amendment, 11 in favor, 0 against. And the committee recommended approval, 11 in favor, 0 against, with the understanding that this would probably, or this will be deferred on the floor once the amendment is attached with a re-referral back to committee. And that was what went down in the Transportation Committee.
Okay, I think I got that. It sounds like you all approved the amendment, and then you approved the bill as amended with the understanding it was going to be deferred, and then it would re-refer back to you all.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that sounds great. Thank you. Councilmember Allen, you're recognized.
Thank you. So I would like to move approval with a brief explanation, and then we can talk about the amendment, or we can go straight to the amendment.
All right, so we can get the bill is up before us. Go ahead to the amendment.
I would defer to Councilmember Young for the amendment.
Councilmember Young, I thought I'd gotten through with you on this one. All right, so you're back on the amendment.
I'm back like a bad pimple, just keeps coming back. This amendment, and I will move the amendment, and then I'll explain it.
All right, so I got a motion on the amendment, properly seconded. Back to you. We're very interested in the amendment.
All right, well, a lot of people have been. So, this amendment does two things primarily, and that it, most importantly, it will satisfy all the interested parties. See the pun there? Parties, party bus? Okay. Number one, it deletes the prohibition on standing on an entertainment vehicle. And number two, it deletes language about enclosures. Now, before we freak out, where we're going with this is that rather than codify some of these specifics, we are going to allow and give and encourage the TLC, have them create these rules so that they can be more responsive. So if we codify a certain type of enclosure of a entertainment vehicle, well, a few months from now or next year, there might be a different way of enclosing them that we feel is a safe way to do it. Rather than having to come through with an ordinance to do so, this would allow the TLC the authority to make those changes as they see fit, because they are given the explicit authority to regulate these for safety and noise in the ordinance that we passed in December, sponsored by Councilmember O'Connell. So the idea here is that the TLC has a better understanding and better flexibility to do what we need them to do, rather than it having to come before us every time. The other key thing with this amendment is that it shows the good faith to the state legislature that currently has a bill on this. This pleases both sides, if you will, of those involved, which is the industry and then the hospitality groups. So what my understanding is tonight is that we will attach this amendment, and then I do believe it was the intent and the will of the committee that we then defer this bill as amended one meeting with the re-referral back. So I don't know if I can now make that motion or if we need to have discussion on the amendment and get it attached.
Yeah, I think you need to move the amendment so we can have discussion on
I
the
did,
amendment.
and Councilmember Van Rees seconded.
Okay. So we've got a motion on the amendment. We've got a proper second. Discussion on the amendment. I've got people in the queue. Councilmember O'Connell.
Thank you, Mr. President. As in committee, I do want to affirm some things that Councilmember Young has expressed. I have been, since that bill passed, I've been in touch with people in the industry. I've been in touch with people on the Hill, both parties, both chambers, been in touch with stakeholders who supported the original regulatory framework. And I believe everyone right now thinks we are on a path to having a clean bill come out of the General Assembly that assures our regulatory approach, but I will agree with Councilmember Young that having worked with the Transportation Licensing Commission closely for 6 years now, our best path is not to legislate all of this regulation, but to afford them the opportunity to do the rulemaking that is going to make the regulatory landscape successful in the long term. So I'm trying to do a couple things here, and I think this amendment with Councilmember Allen's bill gets us basically there, which is to afford to that commission the appropriate amount of regulatory authority, and also to sort of warrant to our peers in the General Assembly that we are not setting out to destroy an industry, but rather to regulate it effectively. And I think this approach, as kind of subsequent work to the bill we worked on last fall, is a good and appropriate way to do that. So I support the efforts of my colleagues on this and encourage folks to vote for both.
All right, thank you, Councilmember O'Connell. Councilmember Cash.
Thanks. I'll be brief because I agree with what the last two gentlemen have said. I saw earlier Councilmember Young's amendment and all the strike through in there and got a little nervous about it, but in committee we had a great discussion. I think what the bill that we passed late last year sets a good plan in motion, gives some authority to the TLC to work out a framework. I don't think we need to mess with that. We need to let them do that. This does that, and I agree with both comments that this is reassuring to the state that we are not going after every little thing we can, but we've got a good plan to regulate going forward. I support this amendment.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Allen.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Just appreciate the comments that have made here, and just want to remind everybody that where we were last October was we did not, as a city, have the right to regulate any vehicle with more than 15 passengers. And so what we are going to end up with this point with legislation that is on track at the state gives us the authority to regulate, which is a huge win on our part. And now I think we're doing cleanup on a bill that will ensure that the TLC knows clearly what is important to the council, which is safety, hours of operation, where the routes are, how many of these there are, and this control be local. So I appreciate the amendment and hope that people will support it, and then we'll circle back around and talk about the next part.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Allen. Councilmember Young.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. And one final thing to say, just to make sure we understand that the legislation we passed prior specifically gives the TLC the quote, "These rules and regulations shall be promulgated to provide safe transportation and specify such safety equipment and regulatory devices as the MTLC shall deem necessary." So that is the broad authority that we gave them already that allows them to require and set the regulations for the enclosures and things like that. So as Councilmember Cash mentioned, there is a lot of strike through, but that's not us pulling our hands back in a laissez-faire sort of way. And so with that, I will renew my motion to approve the amendment.
Okay, we are on the amendment. Again, the motion was made by Councilmember Young. It was properly seconded. Anybody else in the queue that wants to be heard? Nobody else in the queue. We are ready to vote on the amendment, just the amendment. All those in favor of the amendment say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Amendment's adopted. Councilmember Allen, you're back on your bill as amended.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. I have a motion on the floor to approve, although I think that we want to defer this, so I don't know if I can make a motion after mine. If I can, then I would like to now move to defer and re-refer
All right,
to the Transportation Committee.
So you're on your bill as amended. You want to defer how long?
One meeting.
One meeting.
Yes,
so
sir.
the motion is to defer BL 2022-1089 as amended, one meeting. Properly seconded. Discussion on the deferral. Seeing none, all those in favor of the deferral motion say aye. Opposed, no. This bill as amended is deferred one meeting. Okay. Put it on second. I know. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay. All right, that takes care of everything on second. We are now on bills on third reading, and it's 10 minutes till 8. Okay. Thank you, Councilmember Vercher, for all your complimentary comments from back there. All right, these are the bills on third reading consent. Okay, stay with me. Item number 38, BL 2021-853 is on consent. 889, item number 39 is on consent. 954 on consent. BL 2022-1037 is on consent. That's item 43. BL 2021-1037, item 43. 1038, item 44 is on consent. Item number 46, BL 2021-1056 is on consent. Item number 49, BL 2022-1059 is on consent. 1060, item number 50 is on consent. Item number 53, BL 2022-1065 is on consent. BL 2022-1066 is on consent. 55, item 55, BL 2022-1068 is on consent. Item 56, BL 2022-1069 is on consent. Item 57, 1070 is on consent. Item number 58, BL 2022-1071 is on consent. Item number 59, BL 2022-1072 is on consent. Item number 60, BL 2022-1074 is on consent. Item 61, BL 2022-1075 is on consent. Item number 62, BL 2022-1076 is on consent. Item 63, 1077 is on consent. Item 64, 1078 is on consent. Item 65, 1079 is on consent. Item number 66, BL 2022-1080 is on consent. Item 67, BL 2022-1081 is on consent. And item number 68, BL 2022-1082 is on consent. Anything needs to be bumped off? Councilmember Toombs.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Number 58, 1071.
Okay. Item number 58, BL 2022-1071 is bumped off of consent. Okay. Anything else? Councilmember O'Connell. Hold on. There. Councilmember O'Connell.
Thank you, Mr. President. Item 62, please.
Okay. BL 2022-1076. Item 62 is knocked off of consent. Okay. Okay. Anything else? Go back and find it. Okay. So, I'm going to tell you all a story. I'm going to read to you. Oh, Councilmember Stiles. I thought you wanted to hear my story. Go ahead.
Sorry, Vice Mayor. Number 41 was not on consent, correct? I feel like I lost my mind for a second.
Item 41 is not on consent.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else before I start reading to you? Okay. All right, here we go. Item number 38, BL 2021-853 by Councilmember Van Rees. It's an ordinance to amend Title 17 by applying an historic landmark overlay district to property located at 435 Old Hickory Boulevard, the southeast corner of Donna Drive and Old Hickory Boulevard, Zone RS20. It's 1.44 acres. Item number 39, BL 2021-889 by Councilmember Van Rees. This is the companion bill, ordinance to authorize building material restrictions and requirements for BL 2021-853, proposed historic landmark overlay district to include properties at 435 Old Hickory Boulevard, southeast corner of Donna Drive and Old Hickory Boulevard. It's 1.44 acres. The proposed ordinance requires certain materials to be restricted in the construction of buildings. BL 2021-954 by Councilmember Gamble. It's item number 40, ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from SP to AR2A property located at 5000, 5010, and 5012 Clarksville Pike, approximately 2,400 feet northwest of Lloyd Road. It's 32.15 acres. Item number 43, BL 2021-1037 by Councilmember Sledge. It's an ordinance to amend Title 17 by change from R8 and CS to SP zoning for properties located at 2206, 2208, 2212, 2214, 2218, and 2220 12th Avenue South, approximately 80 feet south of Lawrence Avenue. It's 1.87 acres to permit a mixed-use development. And the companion bill is BL 2021-1038, ordinance authorized building material restrictions requirements for BL 2021-1037, proposed specific plan zoning district located at 2206, 2208, 2212, 2214, 2218, and 2220, 12th Avenue South, approximately 80 feet south of Lawrence Avenue. Proposed ordinance requires certain materials to be restricted in the construction of buildings. Item number 46, BL 2021-1056 by Councilmember Parker. Ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing RM20A and S to RM20A zoning for property located at 123 Elmhurst Avenue, northwest corner of Lucille Street and Elmhurst Avenue. It's 0.13 acres. The next one is item number 49. It's BL 2022-1059 by Councilmember Rosenberg. It's an ordinance to amend Title 17 by amending the Stevens Valley specific plan for property located at 441 Union Bridge Road, at southeast corner of Union Bridge Road and Pasquo Road, zoned SP 23.48 acres, to permit a mixed-use development, and the companion bill is 1060. Item number 50, also by Councilmember Rosenberg, ordinance authorized building material restrictions requirements for BL 2022-1059, proposed specific plan zoning district located at 441 Union Bridge Road, southeast corner of Union Bridge Road and Pasquo Road, zoned SP 23.48 acres. Proposed ordinance requires certain materials to be restricted in the construction of buildings. Next item is item number 53, BL 2022-1065 by Councilmember Syracuse. He's got the companion bill, which is 1066. Ordinance to amend Title 17 by change from IWD to SP zoning for property located at 911 Perimeter Court, approximately 240 feet east-southeast of Perimeter Place Drive. It's 5.57 acres. Permit 196 multifamily residential units. Companion bill, ordinance to authorize building material restriction requirements for BL 2022-1065, proposed specific plan zoning district located at 911 Perimeter Court, 240 feet southeast of Perimeter Place Drive. Is 5.57 acres. Proposed ordinance requires certain materials to be restricted in the construction of buildings. Item number 55 by Council Members Toombs, BL 2022-1068, ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from R8 to RM15 NS zoning for properties located at 2137, 2139, 2139B, Buena Vista Pike, approximately 130 feet southwest of Cliff Drive. It's 0.31 acres. BL 2022-1069, item number 56 by Councilmember Hager. Ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from CS to MUNA NS zoning, properties located at 207 and 208 Bridgeway Avenue, approximately 150 feet east of Keaton Avenue. It's 0.66 acres. Item number 57 by Councilmember Welsh, BL 2022-1070. Ordinance to amend Title 17 by change from SP to MULA NS zoning. Properties located at Whitsett Road, unnumbered. It's approximately 400 feet east of Miller's Court. It's 1.99 acres. Item number 59 by Councilmember Druffel, BL 2022-1072. Ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from RS 40 to SP zoning for property located at 504 Jocelyn Hollow Court, northern terminus of Jocelyn Hollow Court, 5.61 acres, to permit a mix of uses. BL 2022-1074, item number 60 by Councilmember Allen. Ordinance approving Amendment 1 to the contract for deferred compensation services between Voya Retirement Insurance and Annuity Company and Voya Financial Partners, LLC, in the Metropolitan Government, which extends the term of the contract. Item number 61, BL 2022-1075 by Council Members Taylor, Allen, and Withers. It's an ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Property or his designee to transfer to Hoosier Capital LP via the attached quitclaim deed any remaining interest the Metropolitan Government has in an unnumbered alley and unnumbered strip of property. BL 2022-1077, item number 63. Toombs, Withers, and Young, an ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government to abandon a portion of easement rights for property located at 503 West Trinity Lane, formerly Winstead Avenue, alley number 1039, and an unnumbered alley. Item number 64 by Withers, Young, and Suara, BL 2022-1078. Ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan government to adopt the revised flood insurance rate map to minimize dangers to life and property due to flooding and to maintain eligibility for participation in the National Flood Insurance Program. Item number 65, BL 2022-1079 by Council Members Lee, Withers, and Young. Ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan government to accept new public water and sanitary sewer mains, fire hydrant assembly, sanitary sewer manholes, and easements for property located at 3631 Pin Hook Road, also known as Hobson Park. Item number 66, BL 2022-1080 by O'Connell, Withers, and Young. Ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan government to abandon existing sanitary sewer mains, sewer manholes, fire hydrant assemblies, and easements, and to accept a new sanitary sewer manholes, fire hydrant assemblies, and easements for property located at 1207 McGavick Street, also known as Gulch Union South Tower. Item number 67, BL 2022-1081. Cash, Withers, and others. Ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan government of Nashville and Davidson County to abandon existing public sanitary sewer main, to adjust sanitary sewer manholes, and to accept new sanitary sewer main for property located at 2405 21st Avenue South, also known as the Blue Pearl Vet. Cash, Withers, Young, and Allen are the sponsors. And item number 68, this is the last bill on the consent calendar. O'Connell, Withers, and Young. Ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan government to abandon existing sanitary sewer and water mains, sanitary sewer manholes, fire hydrant assemblies, and easements, to relocate a fire hydrant assembly and to accept new sanitary sewer and water mains, sanitary sewer manholes, fire hydrant assemblies, and easements for two properties located at 801 12th Avenue North and 800 14th Avenue North, also known as Chartwell at Marathon Village. Those are the bills on third reading consent. Anything needs... I know everybody wants to pass this, but I do need some committee reports. I very much appreciate it. All the committee reports are coming from one place. Councilmember Withers, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. All of these numbers will be the same on each of the items, so that's convenient, I hope. But the Planning and Zoning Committee met and considered BL 2021-853 and voted 8 in favor, 0 against, 0 abstentions. The same vote count for BL 2021-889, 954, 1037, 1038, 1056, 1057, 58, 59, 60, 1063, 65, 66, 68, 69, 70, 72, 74, 75, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, and 82. So all items that we have on consent calendar were 8 in favor, 0 against, 0 abstentions.
All right, Councilman Withers, if you could make a motion to approve all bills on third reading consent.
I move to approve all bills on third reading consent calendar.
Thank you very much. I got a second. Any discussion on the motion to approve all bills on third reading consent? Councilmember O'Connell, are you on this? Was that
yes.
from before?
No, sorry. I was just trying to get my the consent calendar adjusted. I'm good on this.
He just wanted some attention. Okay. All right. All right. Any other discussion? We're voting on the motion to approve all bills on third reading. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Bills on third reading consent are approved. All right. Let's go back and take the bills that are not on that were not on the consent. Make sure that I don't miss something. First one up is item number 41, BL 2021-1000 by Councilmember Stiles. Ordinance to amend Title 17 by canceling a portion of the Hickory Hollow Plan Unit Development Overlay District for property located at 5256 Hickory Hollow Parkway. It's approximately 530 feet southwest of Mount View Road, zone SCR 12.11 acres. Councilmember Stiles, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'd like to defer this to the first meeting in April.
Okay, so so Councilmember Stiles has moved to defer this to the first meeting in April. I got a second. Okay. Any discussion on the deferral motion? Seeing none, we're voting on a deferral motion to the first meeting in April. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. Thank you, Councilmember Stiles. BL 2021-1014 by Councilmember Sledge, Allen, and others. Ordinance approving a lease agreement by and between the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County through the Metropolitan Board of Education and Cambridge College Prep. Councilmember Sledge, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'll move to defer indefinitely with a brief brief comment, if you don't mind.
Okay, so the motion is to defer indefinitely, properly seconded. Councilmember Sledge.
Thanks. It is my intent to bring this back. The parties are still discussing about site improvements. Everybody's talking to each other, so we just need a little more time. Renew my motion.
All right, so the motion is to defer indefinitely, again, properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion to defer indefinitely say aye. Opposed, no. Motion is adopted, is deferred indefinitely. Next item is item number 45 by Toombs and Van Rees. It's BL 2021-1049. It's ordinance to amend Section 5.04.070 of the Metropolitan Code of Laws relative to the audit requirements for nonprofit organizations receiving appropriations from the Metropolitan Government. Councilmember Toombs, you're recognized. Councilmember Saguaro, you're recognized.
Oh, no.
Who's got it?
Move my, Oh, I'm sorry, Vice
I mean, I
Mayor.
can give it to some other people if you want, but I thought you all wanted to deal with it.
Do we have
Councilmember
committee?
Saguaro.
Do we have committee reports?
Everything
on
is in.
All right, then I'd like to move approval with brief comments.
All right, so Councilmember Saguaro has moved approval of BL 2021-1049 for passage on third and final reading, properly seconded. Back to you, Councilmember Saguaro. She's trying to get notes from Councilmember Toombs.
Thank you. I thought it was on consent, but I want to thank everyone that worked on this, including the finance office and the mayor's office. I think this sets a very good rule in terms of making sure that we're able to include small non-for-profits in doing business with Metro, but it also ensures that there's accountability as well. So it's very detailed in terms of what we want to do, but it gives a three-tier approach in terms of what the requirements are. And so with that, I move for approval.
All right, so Councilmember Saguaro has moved for approval of BL 2021-1049 for passage on third and final reading. Again, it was properly seconded. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, ready to vote. All those in favor of 2021-1049 for passage on third and final reading say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. We're on BL 2022-1057 and BL 2022-1058, but there's two substitute ordinances on these. So we'll take them separately. This is Councilmember Taylor and Toombs. At least on the first one, it's Taylor and Toombs. BL 2022-1057, it's an ordinance to amend Title 17 by applying a corridor design overlay district to various properties located along Clarksville Pike and Dr. D.B. Todd Jr. Boulevard from Abernathy Road southward to Buchanan Street, Zone CS, CL, MUL, R6, MUL, MULA, MUGA, SP, OL, and OR 20, partially located within a planned unit development overlay district. It's 176.03 acres. Councilmember Taylor, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Let's have any committee reports, please.
Yep, Planning and Zoning, Councilmember Withers.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. The Planning and Zoning Committee recommended approval of the bill with a substitute 8 in favor, 0 against, 0 abstentions.
Okay, thank you. Back to you, Councilmember Taylor.
Thank you. I would like to move the substitute.
Okay, so Councilmember Taylor has moved the substitute ordinance on BL 2022-1057, properly seconded. Back to you for an explanation of the substitute.
Thank you, Ms. Milligan. Could you please explain?
Ms. Milligan from the planning table.
Sure. So the substitute is a substitute reflecting the recommendation made by the Planning Commission. It simply removes some parcels from the property based on their zoning that a corridor design overlay would not typically be applied to. There is another corridor design overlay that also has a substitute for the same reason. So I can save an explanation the next time we get to it. So this explanation is consistent for both of the corridor design overlays and their companion material bills. It simply cleans it up. And then there's the removal of one parcel at the request of the council member.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Milligan. Councilmember Taylor.
Thank you. I would like to, again, renew motion for a substitute.
All right. So Councilmember Taylor, again, has moved his substitute ordinance. You've heard the explanation. It was properly seconded. Any discussion on the substitute ordinance? Seeing none, all those in favor of the substitute ordinance say aye. Opposed, no. Substitute ordinance is adopted. Councilmember Taylor, you're on your bill, BL 2022-1057, as substituted.
Thank you. I'd like to move as substituted.
All right, so Councilmember Taylor has moved Bill 2022-1057 as substituted for passage on third and final reading, properly seconded. Discussion on the bill. Seeing none, all those in favor of the bill on third and final reading, say aye. Opposed, no. Your bill as substituted, Bill 2022-1057 as substituted, passes. You're now on item 48, which is the companion bill. You've got a substitute ordinance on this one, too. But this is Bill 2022-1058. It's ordinance authorized building material restrictions and requirements for Bill 2022-1057, proposed corridor design overlay district located along Clarksville Pike and Dr. D.P. Todd Jr. Boulevard from Abernathy Road to Buchanan Street, Zone CSCL, MUL, R6, MUL, MULA, MUGA, SBOL, and OR20, partially located within a planned unit development overlay district. Proposed ordinance requires certain materials to be restricted in the construction of the buildings. It's Councilmember Toombs and Taylor, but I think you've got this one. Councilmember Taylor, you're recognized.
Thank you. Committee reports again, please.
All right, Councilmember Withers, you're on Bill 2022-1058.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. The Planning and Zoning Committee recommended approval of the bill with the substitute, 8 in favor, 0 against, 0 abstentions.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Taylor.
Thank you. And again, I would like to go to planning table for an explanation.
Ms. Milligan, you're recognized.
It's the same explanation as the previous. It simply gets it in line with the Planning Commission recommendation.
All right, Councilmember Taylor.
Thank you. I'd like to move the substitute, please.
Councilmember Taylor has moved the substitute, properly seconded. Any discussion on the substitute? Seeing none, we're voting on the substitute. All those in favor of the substitute say aye. Opposed, no. Substitute's adopted. You're on your bill as substituted.
I would like to move the bill as substituted.
Okay, so Councilmember Taylor has moved Bill 2022-1058 as substituted for passage on third and final reading, properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Bill 2022-1058 as substituted passes on third reading. All right, next item up is item number 51, Bill 2022-1063 by Councilmember Toombs. It's got a companion bill. Both of these also have substitutes. Councilmember Toombs, you're recognized. On the bill, it's an ordinance to amend Title 17 by applying a corridor design overlay district to various properties located along West Trinity Lane and from Brick Church Pike westward towards Free Silver Boulevard, Zone CL, MULANS, MUNA, CS, SP, CN, MUGA, and MUL is 94.47 acres. Councilmember Toombs.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Committee report.
Councilmember Withers, Planning and Zoning.
The Planning and Zoning Committee met and approved the ordinance with the substitute, 8 in favor, 0 against, 0 abstentions.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Toombs, you're recognized.
Thank you. I'd like to move the substitute.
Councilmember Toombs has moved the substitute, properly seconded. Ms. Milligan, explanation.
Certainly. This substitute brings the bill into alignment with the Planning Commission recommendation and also removes one additional parcel at the request of the council member. And it's the same for the substitute on the companion bill as well.
All right. All right. Councilmember Toombs, you're recognized.
I'd like to renew my motion to approve the substitute.
Okay. So Councilmember Toombs has renewed her motion to approve the substitute, again, properly seconded. Any discussion on the substitute? Seeing none, all those in favor of the substitute on Bill 2022-1063 say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Substitute's adopted. You're on your bill as substituted.
Move for approval as substituted.
Councilmember Toombs has moved for approval of 1063 as substituted, properly seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor of 1063 as substituted for passage on third and final reading say aye. Opposed, no. Bill is passed as substituted on third reading. You're on item number 52, Bill 2022-1064. Ordinance to authorize building material restrictions requirements for Bill 2022-1063. Proposed corridor design overlay district located along West Trinity Lane from Big Church Pike westward toward Free Silver Boulevard, Zone CL, MULANS, MUNA, CS, SPCN, MUGA, and MUL, 94.47 acres. Proposed ordinance requires certain materials to be restricted in the construction of buildings. Councilmember Toombs, you're recognized.
Thank you. Committee report.
Committee reports. Councilmember Withers, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. The Planning and Zoning Committee met and recommended approval of the bill with a substitute, 8 in favor, 0 against, 0 abstentions.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Toombs.
Thank you. Move for approval of the substitute.
All right, so Councilmember Toombs has moved for the approval of the substitute. You had heard an explanation. Properly seconded. Any discussion on the substitute? Seeing none, all those in favor of the substitute say aye. Opposed, no. Substitute's adopted. You're on your bill as substituted.
Move for approval as substituted.
Councilmember Toombs says move for approval of Bill 2022-1064 as substituted, properly seconded. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, we're ready to vote. All those in favor of Bill 2022-1064 as substituted say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. That passes on third reading. We are now on item number 58, BL 2022-1071 by Councilmember Toombs. Ordinance to amend Title 17 by change from IR to MUG NS zoning for property located at 407 Great Circle Road, northern terminus of Athens Way. It's 15 acres. Councilmember Toombs, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Committee report.
Planning and Zoning, Councilmember Withers.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. The Planning and Zoning Committee met and recommended approval of this ordinance, 8 in favor, 0 against, 0 abstentions.
Okay, thank you, Councilmember Toombs.
Thank you. I need to I'm moving to defer this one to the first meeting in October.
Okay, so the motion is for the first meeting in October?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, properly seconded. The motion again is to defer to the first meeting in October. Any discussion on the motion to defer? Seeing none, we're ready to vote. All those in favor of the motion to defer to the first meeting in October say aye. Opposed, no. Motion to defer is adopted. We're now on item number 62, BL 2022-1076 by Councilmember O'Connell, Allen, Withers, and Young. It's an ordinance approving participation agreement between the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County through the Nashville Department of Transportation and Multimodal Infrastructure and SP Church Project LLC for sidewalk repairs on Church Street. Councilmember O'Connell, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues might remember this one. This had an unusual characteristic where there was some underground infrastructure that was required that the developer would fill it in, and there was some community conversation about whether this constituted a secret tunnel. I dug into it a little further. I'm terribly sorry for that phrasing. And it's really more of a vault. It is a it seems to be more like it housed utilities. It was not something that went someplace or was architecturally significant in that regard as far as anybody can tell that's been involved in this. I've got some pictures I can share with people if they're interested, but this did generate some community conversation. Just wanted to add some context there as we prepare to pass this. So that's all, and I would renew my motion to approve.
Thank you, Councilmember O'Connell. There is no buried treasure in this vault. Good. Okay, we don't want people going down there. All right, so Councilmember O'Connell is moving approval of BL 2022-1076 for passage on third and final reading, properly seconded. Any discussion? Councilmember Parker.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Councilmember O'Connell, you know it's a very tight real estate market. I wonder is this property available for showings before it's, I have a lot of friends looking, so.
Councilmember O'Connell, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. I am only here to work on, the outcomes of mandatory referrals and land use. I'm not in, there's a Realtor caucus. I'm not a part of it.
Thank you, Councilmember.
Thank you, Councilmember Parker. Anybody else? Seeing none, we're ready to vote. BL 2022-1076 for passage on third and final reading. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The bill is adopted. Councilmember Allen, for what reason?
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. I would just like to remind council members of an important meeting that they need to be prepared to come to. All council members have the opportunity to prioritize your CIB items. That's your opportunity for your capital improvement budget to tell the mayor's office what you want to land in the capital spending plan next year. So please take advantage of this opportunity. That is due to Matt Wilkinson on 2/22/22 at 2:22 in the afternoon. So don't miss that deadline. The system, Matt will be sending out a letter about this. We've allocated 100 points to each council member, so you can use that 100 points to show that you have a sidewalk you want more than anything else, and you're giving it all 100 points, or you can divide it up however you want to. That's the system that we came up with, and so Please look at the CIB that Greg will be sending to you. Get it back to Matt on 2/22/22, and then we will meet on 2/28 to finalize that budget. Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Oh, Matt, do you want to add something?
Oh.
Just to clarify, you have received your worksheet. It was sent out around 4 p.m. this afternoon. So just fill out that worksheet. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. If you have any questions about the CIB in general or where's my project, reach out to Greg Claxton. He'll be able to help you get that added. Thanks.
All right. Need a motion to adjourn? Properly seconded. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. We're adjourned.
And so the council has concluded about an hour and 50-minute business meeting, one of the shorter meetings, at least for this year, maybe throughout this whole term, to get done in less than 2 hours. The most impactful bill the council approved tonight actually went through on the consent calendar. It would adopt a new floodplain map for Davidson County. It adds about 1,000 new residences or properties that are now in the floodplain or floodways. Owners now are being advised to buy flood insurance. This purpose of adopting this map is to minimize danger of life and property due to flooding and to maintain eligibility for participation in the National Federal Flood Insurance Program. This bill went through 3 times on 3 readings in the council. There was no debate. Every night it went through. Every night it was here, it went through on a consent calendar. There had been some council members within the media expressing some concern about increased development causing some of this extra flooding and perhaps also climate change, but no debate about it here on the council floor. 2 late bills before the council tonight, both were approved, one a resolution and the other an ordinance. The resolution the council approved is a grant contract in the amount of not to exceed $500,000 with a group called the Louisiana Homebuyers Education Collaborative. They'll be providing a performance review of Metro's homeless programs and provide preliminary recommendations within 12 weeks. There were 5 council members who voted against it. 1 abstained, primarily because they were unhappy that this was an out-of-state firm being hired to do this, not somebody local. On the ordinance that was approved on first reading, the council will approve, again on first reading, money to spend up to $400,000. It would actually approve a contract with the Mental Health Cooperative to continue to train Metro police officers. When they go out on trainings, they'll be ready to handle mental illness situations. This is another major step to provide officers with mental health support in the field. When they encounter persons with mental health issues, the hope is they won't have any more officer-involved shooting for that. Again, this bill was just on first reading. It'll still take 2 more readings to get it further into the council. So probably sometime at the end of March at the earliest before the contract actually goes through. The council already approved $400,000 in training to be used for this year during the fiscal year and $100,000 in the next 3 years. So money is already there. They just need the contract together to start moving forward. Back on the regular agenda, the council approved, or actually deferred indefinitely, a resolution that had been up several times asking that the Planning Commission review the city's general plan by June 30th of next year. They're concerned that growth is exceeding what had been anticipated. This bill is being deferred indefinitely because this is the 3rd time it's being deferred, and also because the sponsors want to go back and redraft it and focus more on what specific parts of the plan they want to have looked at, not the entire general plan. So maybe seeing this resolution come back in sometime soon. Other resolutions that the council approved tonight would extend indefinitely the home occupation law the council passed back in July of 2020. The law somewhat liberalized which businesses could operate out of homes and under what rules. The matter is still in the courts. In fact, the State Supreme Court heard such a case a couple of weeks ago. There were a number of bills tonight that would change timelines and increase eligibility standards for a number of different things under the pandemic for receiving rent, mortgage, and utility help. Also, the council approved another grant applications and accepted a number of other grants. Almost all of these were approved under the consent calendar, so there was no debate about them tonight. They went through pretty much without much debate at all, because they went through on the memorializing resolution. By the way, also going back to the contract the council approved tonight, at least on first reading on mental health, the council also approved a resolution separately tonight that asked the city, the police department, to move forward as quickly as they had to have this program with mental health help being provided for police officers, being done a county-wide program right now. The program that's been operating here is only on a pilot basis and not in all the precincts. On first reading tonight, the council approved 3 different bills that would further talk about and make changes in the recent license plate reader technology pilot program that the council just approved at its last meeting. These will probably be further debated when they come up in the next couple of weeks, but all three of them did pass tonight. Normally, first reading bills do pass on without much debate, and that's what happened tonight. But sometimes in recent years, there's been more debate on bills, even when they're just on first reading. On second reading tonight, the council did defer a bill that would continue the recent regulation overhaul of the city's entertainment transportation vehicles. But actually tonight, the council amended the bill before they deferred it. That would take a lot of the things that were going to be changed in the rules and regulations and make them things that the rules and regulations that the licensing transportation board can do, rather than put them into the code. And if those things change, they have to come back and change the entire ordinance to do that. This also, we were told on the floor tonight that people at the state, remember, the state has often negated what Metro wants to do in regulating these. The state seems to be in favor of this, so perhaps we're going to have some meeting of the minds on doing this going forward, and the state may pass a bill that will allow Metro to take over the regulation of these transportation, tourism, transportation groups downtown. That has been a source of some concern and unhappiness, and we'll see if that goes further. The bill was again deferred tonight, so it'll be back up again on second reading in 2 weeks. The council also deferred indefinitely a lease for the new Cameron Prep, or the continuing a new lease for the Cameron College Prep charter school. This is the second of 3 charter schools that have had their lease either rejected or did not receive enough votes for final approval. A third one did get through. It'll be interesting to see where this goes. There's some people in the council who don't like charter schools, think they take funds away from public schools. Others believes they are public schools and they need to be supported. Finally, on third reading tonight, the council gave approval on third and final reading to a bill that would amend the threshold for audit requirements for nonprofit organizations, small ones, that receive appropriations from Metro government. This would apply to nonprofit organizations with operating budgets of less than $250,000 and those receiving grants with Metro less than $25,000. The council is now in recess for the next 2 weeks. We'll meet again on the first Tuesday of the month of March. That's March 1st. We'll be here at that time to provide live coverage. Until then, I'm Pat Nolan, and good night from the council chambers. Tonight's meeting of the Metropolitan, Nashville, and Davidson County Council has been coming to you live from the council chambers at the historic Metro Courthouse. It's been a public affairs presentation of the Metro Nashville Network.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information on this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.